University is not just a place for students to study their courses, writing assignments, and take exams. They also involve in extracurricular activities. Democratic Education Network in the last few years has found a natural location and role in interning students, engaging them in projects such as writing, reviewing online magazines and books, organizing events, and collaborating with local and international partners. The students then complement their formal learning with practical knowledge, skills, and desirable attitudes. In addition, the students get hands-on experience by collaborating with local and international universities. DEN has been supporting students to improve the network connections and showing them how a professional workplace operates by encouraging them to initiate, develop, and lead projects. In developing their skills, the students play an essential role in supporting their colleagues and providing prospective students with insight into the course that they are studying. This short video provides some of our students' reflections on their internship during their involvement in DEN's projects in the last few years. We hope they will give you some ideas about DEN and how it supports students with an internship. If you need further information, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Thank you.
And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about why I chose to do the DEN internship last year and why it might be the right choice for you coming into this year. Now, I'm sure like me, many of you have already heard about DEN, maybe through newsletters or other students, or even lecturers like Farhang, who just loves to talk about it. But many of you probably won't quite have a full understanding of what DEN is, and that's through no fault of your own. What I would really suggest is, like me, you simply show up to one of the meetings just to get a bit of a taste of it. There'll be no expectations, and if you're not interested, you won't be under any obligation to stay or do any work with DEN, but you'll really be able to get a feel for how DEN works. Unlike most sort of uni programs I've been involved in, DEN is really quite unique because they place a massive emphasis on individual freedoms. And by that, I mean you have pretty much complete control over what projects you're involved in, what your contribution is, how much you work, who you work with, how you do it. And as long as you're contributing there, you really have complete freedom over how you interact with other students. I found this to be really convenient, especially for me, because I had a very busy timetable and lots of work to try and fit in around university. And so DEN will be a more flexible opportunity than most traditional internships. Now, last year, just off the top of my head, we had the DEN conference, we had international food festivals, we had social events, we had the book publishing effort, we had the Vietnam field trip, and many more projects. Personally, I was involved in the book publishing and the Vietnam trip, and both were amazing opportunities, both for me personally and for my academic interests. With the book publishing, every student is invited to write 5,000 words as an article of their choosing, and I was able to use this to explore my interests in my subject of IR, and I'm now using the work that I've provided for my book article to actually help me start forming the basis of my dissertation this year. The Vietnam trip was quite a different experience. I found it to be less academic and more personal, but getting the opportunity to, over 10 weeks, learn about a different culture and then actually go and experience it, talking with other students and exchanging ideas, was really inspiring, really motivational, and it's given me a new perspective on my course. Now, before going into DEN, I felt that I really lacked confidence. I was quite a individual sort of worker, so I never played well in a team. And I can safely say that DEN has taught me a lot of team working skills, cooperation, and just generally been really good for my social life as well.
I found out about DEN when I was doing my internship module, and it was one of the suggestions that was given to me. It was a really good idea, and I decided to join. So what I did during my internship is that I would chair meetings, which would happen weekly. and record the meetings. Like I would write them down, and also I would write articles for Den or be part of like reviewing other people's work. Or Den was writing a huge book and you would be able to give like an insert of a certain amount of words. And I also did the Vietnam tour. So in the Vietnam tour, you would talk to students from Vietnam, because the university would collab with another university at Vietnam. So weekly as well, you would come together, have a meeting, interact with the different students from Vietnam, watch a few videos to like build your knowledge on Vietnam, and then eventually at the end of it all, you would get a tour. You'd get to go to Vietnam and go on a tour with the students there. Another thing I did in Den was partake in the conference. So the conference is an annual thing that happens, and it is 2 days, and it has a theme, and under the themes, like different people will come and talk to everybody, not just students, about what they've been researching about these themes, and then you get to learn and network with people during the little breaks. Would I recommend Den? Absolutely, because I personally had a great time. I got to meet new people, I got to make new friends, and everyone is very willing to listen to you and also ready to share their stories. And it's a very free space. You're allowed to talk about whatever you want. You're allowed to input anything in any sort of way. It gives you creative control, basically.
I was done as my internship for a second year. I didn't really know what to expect, since I didn't really know a lot of information about it beforehand. And I decided that since I had a bit of trouble at first figuring out where could I do an internship, I thought, why not? Why shouldn't I try it? And I think I was very pleasantly surprised, because it gave me a lot of opportunities, a lot of work, which I think actually greatly benefited me. In other cases, even more so, than a lot of people who chose just random internships, random placements. When I first started, then it was a lot of easier tasks, but still gave me a lot of like interesting experience and interesting news, like experiences to try new skills. For instance, when I began, I had to help organize Den quizzes and write blogs, and I never had done any of these things before, so it was a very interesting experience to see how you actually apply your skills and what you know. And afterwards, when it got a bit more close to the end, I've also participated in the Den book writing, and I think that was a really great experience, not only for my CV but also for myself, because I never had written such a huge piece of like a huge article like that before. And I think the opportunity for me to like research my own topic and write about it gave me a really great like new sense of skills and a sense of confidence about what I can write. And all the public speaking I did through a lot of the events we created also gave me a lot of experience and a lot of new skills. And all in all, I would say that it's a good combination between going to the uni and afterwards you can meet new people and you do new events with the university. And it's, I think, the best option you can do in the second year, which does not require you to do like travel around and do a lot of stuff. You do everything in the university. You do a lot of cool things. You get a lot of rewards, not only of course to the university, but also like in a personal level by getting a lot of new and valuable experience. And I think that if you're unsure about what you want to do as an internship, that is the best option you could do.
I joined in on Den last year, and I initially decided to join Den for the reason that I was looking to participate and be more active in university. I wanted not only to develop skills for my employability, but I also wanted to be part of a community, find in a way like a sense of belonging, both in London and in university. Throughout the year, I joined in on the Vietnam virtual field trip, and was very lucky to have participated in the actual Vietnamese field trip, where we networked with the students from Hanoi, wrote blogs, learned a lot about Vietnamese culture, and also had the pleasure to actually go to Vietnam and experience the culture. With the Den students, we also had the pleasure of hosting conferences, organizing events that promote diversity and inclusivity. I feel much more confident after participating in DEN, as it helped me develop lots of skills that are very important for future employability, such as like public speaking, and I'm starting to also begin to think about like what I am actually good at and what skills I can actually develop in the future to search for my future job. Farhang is very good at bringing students together, and if you are a first year student, I would definitely recommend you joining in.